Well, welcome everyone to Elevation Call, May Day version. This is Lisa, Bell, Henson, and Hal. We're so excited you guys joined us. We've got so much to unpack tonight. And I first want to start out by just saying congratulations to those guys who really worked hard to close the month. April was amazing. We had people ranking up. Angela Noble was making me crazy last night. She was calling me at 10:30 going, hey, I want to check my volume. And then she was able to requalify for her rank, which was amazing. And Kristina Durham ranked up to city, which we're so very proud of her. And anyway, it's just, sometimes end of month can be stressful, but when people really, really are working as a team, it lifts everyone. And it was really exciting to see that last night. So I just wanted to say great job on everyone who was, working on Cashnado, anyone who was enrolling, selling products. All of you guys were really working hard. And so I'm going to have Hal recognize the leaderboard.
Yeah. So all of you, I think everybody on here knows what leaderboard's about. So we'll cut right to it. So for the month of really ending the month, we ended the month of April with two of us on the leaderboard. I got to tell you, Latin America and Europe, but especially Latin America right now is dominating the leaderboard, which for whatever reason, that things are happening, because we know what it took to get to number 2 on the leaderboard. So the Todds, Steve and Jenny Todd, were number 15 out of Florida. And as we mentioned before, they enrolled and have been working really hard, and just all the hoops you got to jump through to break open Europe. But they enrolled a gold founder in where is it? Switzerland? Sweden. I knew it started with the SW something. Anyway, within foreign places. Anyway, so that's the Todds. And then we ended up number 2 in the company last month, and got to participate in the Cashnado. And Lisa was working all the way through to the last minute. And we just, we just said, we're going to make this happen this month, not for the extra cash, but we just wanted to do it. And so it was really cool. It was
really, really interesting. And we'll unpack that later,
yeah. Go ahead.
But first, I really want to talk about something really, really exciting.
Susan Welch I don't know where she ranked because they cut it off, but I know Susan Welch wasn't one of the top
retailers. So congratulations to Susan Welch and her team. But you guys, many of you know, and if you're watching Team Unlimited or if you're in the Evansville region, you'll see that we have just finished a whirlwind tour with CEO Stephen Thompson. And a lot can happen in 2 weeks in this company. And I know Mary Ellen texted me and said, Stephen Thompson called me and said, hey, I want to come to Evansville. Would you put together a meeting? And you have 6 days notice. And so I'm not sure what you would say, but what did Mary Ellen say? I'm going to bring Mary Ellen and Roger to the line, because they just did a heroic deed with regard to the entire team that moved everyone forward. And I want to hear why they're excited.
Oh, yeah, we're on.
Very.
It's hard to put into words, but at first I about had a heart attack when Stephen called me, because when Stephen calls, it's like, oh my gosh, is this real? Is this some kind of prank? But I was very excited to hear him first say he wanted to add Evansville. 6 days was a bit daunting to pull it together, but I said, we'll make it happen. So we did. And I am so proud of our entire area, our Evansville-based team, because, I contacted everybody and said, hey, Stephen's coming, let's make it happen. And everyone jumped on board. So the energy was phenomenal. We ended up having a fantastic program on Thursday evening in Newburgh, Indiana. It was our first time having that little suburb of Evansville as a host place for our venue. And yeah, we really had a great turnout. We had 45 people in attendance. We had 13 guests just at that event. And then my last count, there may be more, but I know we had a total of 20 people at a total of 3 events, guests, I should say, at the 5 stops Stephen made. But it's hard to explain, but it affected me so much. First, I was moved just by Stephen offering to come to our team, our community in person, because there is nothing like hearing Stephen live. I never miss him when he's around in a driving distance. And this was just wonderful to have it in our backyard. But spending time with Stephen, Eva, you, Lisa, and Roger and me, putting this together, I got to know Stephen better. I got to know the behind the scenes workings that makes this business so successful. And I realized he's hands-on, you know, he's just boom, 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 boom. Mary Ellen, can you do this? Let's do this. He was the driving force that first got us motivated to do it. And then the whole Evansville team made it happen. So it kind of was a turning point for me and Roger, and we didn't expect it, but it made us realize we are ready to reboot our business and quit talking about stuff and make it happen. So Roger and I are committed to ranking up in May, and it is largely based upon what Stephen had to share, because his plans for this company are just amazing. It is the perfect time. So we said, hey, let's do it right now. The timing's right. What he has to offer is right. Summerfest with our new products is right. So we're committed to ranking up to regional in May. So come Summerfest, that's our plan, is to go to Summerfest as regionals. So what I'm extending to everybody here is we've already been energized. I know our Evansville team was so on board making it happen. Debbie Gentry was responsible for a wonderful venue that we hadn't used before with Stephen. We had an auditorium and it was wonderful to have that. So the energy was there and just kept growing and growing. So I'm offering everybody on the team to do the same. If you're ready to take the next step and rank up, do it now. Our energy is phenomenal. We will help each other because we've already done it. So that's where we're at. We're ranking up. So anybody wants to join us, bring it on. We'll do it together, because I found the power of doing it as a team cannot be beat.
Yes.
And Stephen is there with us to help make it happen. So that was my take on it. I'm still buzzing. It was so exciting.
You really are.
Absolutely. I am. I'm pumped
It's
up. It's
great.
like, I'm tired of talking about this.
That's
Bring
right.
it on.
So, Roger, what do you think?
Well, this has been an exciting 6 days. You know, I've never felt so much energy coming from a person like I did getting to know Stephen, and our interactions, our pre-meeting Zoom that we had was just amazing. And I feel so energized from this company. Honestly, I've always been a behind the person, always supported Mary Ellen with this business. But I just feel like going forward, she and I, this is our business. This is our future. And we are both committed to making this as our great future. You know, we will be regional come Summerfest, and we have great plans for beyond that. I truly feel that now is the right time to be stepping up into this. Everything's coming together to make that happen. And in my thoughts of making this happen, I think, well, gosh, all I really have to do is just ask all these different people. We have such support on this team. I could not believe how the conversations that we've had with Stephen in the last few days. Eva has been phenomenal to step up. And, you know, I talk about the elephant in the room. You know, Jenny and Tony leaving the company, yes, kind of put a damper, but honestly, right now, I've never felt as much energy in this company as I do right now. And Hal and Lisa, a lot of that comes from you, but a lot of it comes just from our individual team members. You know, I look at Debbie and I look at Jean and Lorena, and I know that energy comes out of that. And Kristina, I see she just popped on here. You know, it is so great to see the energy that people like Kristina bring to this. And I want to tap into this, and we're going to make this not just a business for us, but a legacy for our kids and grandkids.
Yeah.
So that's really where we see this, and we're going to do it. We hope we can bring everyone else in the Evansville area with us, but we're going to do it.
Well, you guys, beautiful. Very well said. And we're very excited as to what's happening now. And one of the things that I really kind of walked away with is just really feeling like, you know, there's a little piece of history there with, I don't know that there's anywhere else in the nation that had the number of people on, you know, different teams working together to help promote our mission and our cause. And Kristina, you weren't on when we recognized you for Making City, but I would just love for you to just kind of tell us what you're excited about. You've been excited since you started, and you've done things in a whole new way, but you are now assembling an all-star team. Please tell us what you're excited about.
Well, I just went off the phone with Eva, so I'm looking for my next 14 so I can get to the next rank for that Jeep this next month. That's my goal. So I'm just excited about the products and what they do for people, and the stories that I continue to hear when we're on calls like this that I necessarily wouldn't be able to tap into if, you know, and if an organization doesn't do this. I really think it opens up avenues for us to be able to communicate with just everyone else in general. But I really do like the team aspect of what the EVV area brings to the rest of not just the US, but the globe. I really think that we've just got a powerful group here locally that really works together. I know when I was talking to Mary Ellen, you know, we're all cousins, as she puts it. And, you know, so it really does take that team effort and that team approach. And I'm just really excited to be a part of that, because it does drive that energy level through the roof. And I think it's really palpable for a lot of different people to feel, whether they're outsiders that we bring on the inside, or if it's just people that have already been within this. I just feel blessed to be just a part of this organization and just a part of what Ziliaks is and does, and what they're going to be offering to the world here, you know, in the near future. So,
well, that's exciting. And we had a lot of fun with Rebecca and Carol, her mom, and got to hang out with them Friday night. So I felt like I was the lucky one. I just got to enjoy just all the dynamics, download the energy. And we're going to talk about some of the takeaways, because Eva, many of you guys, if you're new at all, you might not know who Eva Angelopoulos is. And she's kind of famous because she's a presidential ambassador. She was my first mentor when I was in Evansville, and I was kind of a skeptic newbie, like with lots of attitude. It was not a love affair for us initially, and we kind of laugh about it now, but she had a lot of belief and a really strong mindset, and she was able to get her Jeep in 6 days. And she kind of slapped me around a little bit this time, because I said, Eva, you know, let's talk about today. Let's not talk about old stories from, you know, 4.5 years ago. And she said, no, she said that 6-day Jeep was really evidence of my belief. And it was an evidence of my mindset. Here you have an unproven new company, you know, she's in a new market, and she literally got herself to what we call area ambassador in her first 6 days in the business. And so I was like, you know, you're right. It was a sign of her belief.
I just want to add a couple of things here. So I'm looking at the call, and like a number of you who were not in the Evansville and vicinity last week, I wasn't there. And so I look at several people on the call who were not there, but I can tell you that even though even I was out of pocket quite a bit, and really couldn't tie in other than with phone call, I could feel the energy. I could feel the energy on the posts on Facebook, talking with Lisa. She's like, this is different. We actually got a call from Mary Ellen on Wednesday morning after she'd been on to Tuesday night meeting, which was the
In
first
Greenwood.
meeting in Greenwood. And she called us at, what was it, Mary Ellen, 7:30 in the morning or something?
The next day.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, she texted or called, and that's not normally a time, guys. We're not saying call us at 7:30, okay? That's not normally a time we take a call. We usually don't get those calls started till 8 or 9. Yeah, so, but we're like, this is weird. Mary Ellen's calling, and she's like, guys, I feel like I was on Mars. It was so different. The
It was.
energy was so great, and she just kept going on. I mean, she was like, she just could feel the energy was different. And so, and it just kept up. You could see it. Don't miss the fact that our team in those 5 meetings had a cumulative of 20 guests at a time in the company when some people would say, these are the worst of times. Look what just happened. But I'm telling you that the energy right now is the best of times as it's been in over 4 years, just the way it feels there. And for some of us who were tuned into it a little bit. To Lisa's point, though, part of the struggle has been, I'm just going to say it, we're tired of hearing that Eva got her Jeep in 6 days, and some of us have been doing this and we haven't got our Jeep in 3 years. Tired of hearing that. Tired of hearing that Eva helped Lisa, get to 5 figures in 5 months. That was 4 years ago. We're tired of hearing that. What about now? Well, this is that time. We believe it's that time again. And to hear what I just said, we believe it's that time again. Lisa just said it was because of Eva's belief. And so what I want to say is, and you may not catch it tonight, but I think that you'll begin to catch it. We need to all start acting as if it's that time again. We need to start acting like we believe it's that time again. We need to start acting as if we're going to build this business to the next level, whatever your next level is, despite what's happened in the days, weeks, months, year prior. I want to tell you, for us, we have had a sense of a growing sense of peace, well-being, and now I can say enthusiasm, excitement that is running deep. Peace when Jenny and Tony left, sense of well-being after we've had multiple meetings since that time, and now I would say a sense of excitement, enthusiasm, hope, and belief even more. You can't put your finger on it exactly. You just have a sense that that's where we're at. And what I'm asking you all to do, all of you, is, let's forget the past and move on to your near future, your near present, and we need to just act as if. And I'm going to be teaching on this act as if a little bit more. You're going to be hearing a little bit more about the psychology of acting as if. So.
And I wanted to just kind of be able to restate a few of Eva's takeaways. One of the things that was awesome is that I was able to join in with Mary Ellen, Angela, and our Evansville-based team. I think Karen Hale was there, Kristina was there, Judy Carver was there, Susan Everett was there, and I think the Workmeisters. Anyway, we had a great collection of people on Friday at 10 a.m. We just sat around the Marriott, and Eva kind of listened to us for the first hour, and then we listened to her for the second hour. And
that right there is different.
It is very different.
Eva, so Stephen and Eva, they're listening. Like, we've been asking them to listen, and for Eva to listen,
it was
cool.
It was notably different. And one of the things she shared with us was Hal and I didn't know this till much after the fact. She had a near-death experience with COVID. And I know she wouldn't mind me telling you this. She was not available this evening, or she would be telling you herself, but she literally had double pneumonia and COVID in December, right around Christmas. And you remember, nobody can be with you. She was all by herself in the hospital for, I think, at least a week. And she told the story of the doctor coming in and saying, if you're incapacitated, who would you like us to communicate with? First question. Second question, he's like, hey, you have a 50-50 chance of living. And, we were all kind of like spellbound. And so what Eva said, and I just want you to think about her mindset. She said, well, so do you. You just don't know what your 50% is. And this is her mindset. And she was talking about how much she really enjoyed being in the hospital, having time to think. She loved the staff. She really focused on the positive. And she kind of told her story. And I believe because of that, Eva has changed her entire perspective. So first hour, she listened to us. Second hour, she really gave us some teaching points that I wanted to share with you guys. I think they're powerful enough. Eva she's somebody to study, because she has accomplished, she and Chris, her husband, have accomplished a lot in her life. And it kind of boils down to 5 points that I wanted to share with you. And then I'm going to allow anybody else who wants to chime in and be able to fill in as well, because Eva is somebody to study. And she was a mentor for me in my first few months in the business. And she is known to be somebody who really can help push you to get your best. And so the first thing she said is be intentional. And we're talking about a new day, a new opportunity, a new window. And her first suggestion is be intentional and say exactly what you want in this window. Roger and Mary Ellen talked about regional. I know that's not their final destination. Kristina talked about area. So you want to kind of think about what's your next step and what's your goal. And she said, be intentional. And she said, ask for exactly what you want. Do not settle for anything less than what you want. And that's a really powerful takeaway. And here's to me what was the most impactful point. She said, if you are going to lead, be prepared to stand alone. If you want to lead, and remember, you guys, this business is not about making followers. This business is about creating leaders. And
right.
if you are going to lead people, you and us, all of us have to be prepared to stand alone. And it's the inner strength, it's the mindset that really comes from your core that allows you to stand alone. Plant your feet. Don't sway is what she called it. Don't focus on the noise or the negativity or the obstacles. And belief is everything. And she is the one who has been able to rise, just through the rocking of, her frontline sponsor left the company, and she is standing strong to help this company rebuild. So she said, be prepared to stand alone in that.
So, and she's not alone, but she's made the decision to stay for her own reasons. We don't know what all her reasons are. She believes that we can build this to a bigger vision than any of us have ever imagined. But I can tell you that when you look at the positives, she hasn't said it, but there is no doubt that one of the huge positives that she sees is this team, you guys, every one of you, as a whole, and then individuals that she is working with or that has met in the Indiana area and beyond. And so if you can imagine that her leadership, her mentors, friends have gone another direction. And, we're not going to talk about that tonight, but we're fully, we can talk about it anytime you want. It's just, we don't have time tonight. There's nothing to hide. There's nothing about that other than the fact that they've gone a different direction for their reasoning. But we're here. And one of the reasons that we know that she's here is because of you guys and leading you. And you can see her engagement this week. She's like, we're going to the heart of the people in Indiana, in our backyard, and we're going to make this happen. Who wants to go with us from this point forward? And that's a huge part of that energy shift. So
the other thing I was impressed with is just, she is such a strong mindset that anything, focusing on like, well, why did Jenny and Tony leave? And, like the back office, is too crowded. And, my order, didn't go out fast enough. And all of that, she sees that as noise. And so just kind of be aware of where your mental energy goes, because if you have a big goal, you've got to be able to completely focus on that goal and not be swayed off the goal. So that was really a big point. Another one, which makes sense, don't take business advice from anyone you wouldn't trade places with. So let that sink in for a second. And all of us have had business advice as to whether this will work, whether this won't work. We laugh about the fact that sometimes the most difficult conversation is with those people that we know and love the most. And so it's always just a huge joy to see, like Kristina brought in Rebecca, who brought in her mother, who's a very high level health professional, who we will introduce to you at some point. But that is a tough conversation with your mom, and I just love the fact that it was a great conversation. And so there are great examples of that all over the place. Number 4, there's a window of opportunity. People are looking and don't want to go back to work. So you guys, this is a very special window, and these windows are formed by big trends in the world. And this trend of COVID diminishing, people are sick and tired of being isolated. They're tired of negativity. They're ready to plug into something that's bigger than them. And so this window will not last forever. It's why all of us are really working right now. And then number 5, and this might be the most important, but you can have anything you want, but you must reach out and grab it. Keep your why alive as to why you're doing this business. Don't give up on your goals no matter what. Break through the belief barriers, and that could be belief in yourself, belief in the company. Never, ever, ever, ever settle. And so the question is just, what Mary Ellen and Roger kind of threw out, to the Evansville-based team, which is really a bigger question for all of us. It's what rank goal do you want to commit to? Because, we're getting ready to do a 90-day run here in a very big way. And that's the Evansville market, all working together, all rising together. But there are other markets that there's an Arkansas market, there's a Florida market, there's a Kentucky market, there's a Nashville market. We've got different markets represented on this phone, Darcy in North Carolina. So St. Louis is in the house. So we have to actually raise other leaders to help us with our mission. And I'm going to just pause to hear if anyone else wants to commit to a rank goal. I'm taking notes.
Rank goal.
Yeah, we have a rank of national that we want to get to, and we've got the date.
The date is August 31st, 2024.
I'm writing it down. Awesome.
I mean, 2022 now, 22.
Wait a minute, 2024.
24 is the condo on the beach. Sorry about that.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha. It's 2022.
22. I'm
So,
gonna say, you guys.
Stephen, Jenny, Todd, tell us a little bit about your background, why Ziliaks, because that's really a very important part of why you do this.
Yeah, it is. Well, I'm a sleep specialist professionally, and then I use this in my practice, and it makes a big difference for my patients. And we certainly enjoy the opportunity to be with people like you and like everybody on the team, but we really, really are doing it like everybody else had mentioned. We have 11 grandchildren, and we feel like that for us to leave a legacy, like Roger was talking about, the only real way to do that is through Ziliaks. We don't really have another plan to be able to do that. And so our efforts and energies are focused toward helping the generational wealth that Stephen talks about. And it's a real deal. This is this is not something we poke at with as a hobby. It's serious. And we enjoy it. Jenny particularly is evolved into she just can go out and talk about anybody, any place, anytime, and she does. And I admire her so much because she works so hard at meeting people, but it just means a lot to us. It's more, it's about relationships that we're building with everybody on this call. And I think that means the world to Jenny and I. So,
well, I'd like to add, everybody's life changes, and we were first presented and shown this opportunity. We were not interested in it because we weren't looking. But you know, the more we saw and the more we studied and the more we learned, we love the idea of adding to our retirement also. We have a retirement, but it's not how we want to live. We live in a fabulous place and we want to go and travel and do things. And y'all, that wouldn't get it with our retirement that we have. It just wouldn't.
Hey, gas
So-
prices went up 8%, so you know our retirement doesn't keep up with that.
Yeah, you know, it just, you got to have another stream of income. We just want to have a good time, and Ziliaks, you know, affords us money to go out and do things that we couldn't do in our retirement. That's another big reason we do this.
Mhm.
Fact is fact, you know, everybody wants more money. So
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that with us. I've written it down. Thank you, guys.
Welcome.
Does anyone else want to, I mean, I feel like,
Sure. This is Patty Bug.
okay,
Go,
tell us.
Patty.
I am no longer a realtor and I'm so thankful, and I'm going to be regional by the end of September.
Awesome.
Awesome. And your market right now, I know is Kentucky, Patty, but that you're certainly not limited to that.
No, I'm not. I've already scheduled my first meeting for this week, but I'm certainly willing to go wherever it takes. So wherever it takes, wherever I need to go, you know, I don't mind to drive the miles. That's for sure. This last
Thanks,
weekend was
Patty.
amazing.
Looks like
This last
Angela's got
weekend-
her hand- looks like Angela's got her hand up. People are starting to
Yep.
raise their hands. Go, Angela Noble.
You're
Regional
muted. There you
by
go.
the end,
Regional.
by the end of the year.
Okay, by the end of the year, 2022. Very good. All right. Anybody else? So yes, Cindy Lynn,
Area by Summerfest.
area by Summerfest. Let's say it again. What was that?
Area by Summerfest.
All right.
And if it's possible, I'd like to be regional, or was the next one?
Regional.
This is Fall Fest.
Regional.
Fall Fest. would be a good time to be
Regional by
regional.
the end of the year.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And that means you're coming to the summit.
So you take where you are, Cindy.
Oh,
Right
yes,
now.
I will be at Summerfest.
So you
Lauren
take
and I are both coming.
where you are right now with your numbers and your team of people on your team, because it's not, you can't get there by yourself.
I know.
When you hit area by Summerfest, the momentum that carries onto regional will be basically moving you to regional. I mean, it literally moves you that forward, because the team that you are bringing in is going to want to hit that area rank. And so it just creates the momentum. What happened really 4 years ago in Ziliaks for a window of about 18 months. That's what happened.
Right.
And that's the kind of momentum that we believe we can create in this window of time right now, in that sense of that. So who else?
Yeah, before you guys, whoever's going to speak next, I want just to kind of hold for a minute, because what we are really recommending right now is that you build in your backyard. And the reason why is, like, I am 8 hours now from Evansville. It's tougher for me to get there on the ground as things are opening. So, you know, Mary Ellen and Angela have really stepped up, you know, with leadership in that market, which is a huge thing. We're now going to find leaders here in the Arkansas region, Northwest Arkansas and Fort Smith area to build under. And so think about the geography that you want to commit to. When I started this in Evansville, I picked Evansville, Louisville, and Nashville as the 3 markets that I could easily drive to and support. So just want to kind of throw that out as well.
So like Holly, my sister Holly, who's on the call, she's driving tonight, but she's on the call. She is, you know, she's a regional ambassador out of Fort Smith. Just like everybody took some step back, got knocked back for different things, different reasons. And she's stepping up now, really. And so it's not Hal and Lisa building Northwest Arkansas. For those of you on the call tonight, from Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley of Northern Arkansas, we're not here to build it. We're here to support you in building it. Just like once Lisa got to a certain point in Indiana and left, the leaders remained, in the strongest organization in the geographical area, numbers wise, is in Indiana, in particularly Evansville, Indiana. And it's because you leaders have stepped up, and all of you are becoming more and more leaders. So think about that in Atlanta, in Nashville area. You know, I'm naming big cities. the Panhandle of Florida, and there's several people on the call tonight. You know, from there's people here from West Texas on this call tonight who we've never had a team there, but we have leaders developing in these pockets around the country. You know,
Judy Baker is in Illinois.
yeah.
And of course, we
Of
talked
course,
about St.
Mississippi,
Louis.
we got Mississippi. I mean,
Mississippi
we
in the
can't,
house.
we got Kansas or St. Louis, which is a kind of an outgrowth of Evansville, but only because it's an outgrowth of Evansville, but not for long, because the Workmeisters keep going to Evansville and Indiana to take back that juice from there back to St. Louis. And I believe much more than they believe that they are going to be like the anchor root of that St. Louis area. They're becoming the leaders that area needs. And they're just everyday folks. I mean, Jean's been working, you know, night shift, and Lorena's just, I mean, she's learning how to operate email. I mean, you know, so it's just life-changing things for these people, but they're like, we're going to do this. We are going to do it. And it's that acting as if belief, we're going to do it to make it happen. So,
And so anybody else want to share a rank goal? I don't know if Holly's on here, but we had talked earlier.
she was a minute ago. I saw her pop up. She may be.
Oh, Beth can't unmute, but she wants area by August 31st.
All right.
Way to go, Beth Plumley, Northwest Arkansas.
Okay. So,
Christina.
I had originally said Jeep by the end of summer, which was the end of August for myself. But when I'm working with Eva now, that's moved up. I'm looking to try to hit it by the end of this month before we go to Summerfest. And if that's the case, then that next level is regional. And I would love to do regional by the time we hit, is it Winterfest? What's the next one when we go to Fall Fest? There you go.
September.
Mhm.
Fall Fest, because if I really do feel if I can hit that this month, and there's no reason that I can't get to the next level.
It's
by
called
Fall Fest.
momentum, guys. When you hit that rank, you do not get there by yourself. You get there because you have been serving other people to hit their rank every time. I mean, Kristina, you did not get to city ambassador by yourself. People who sponsored you, who believed in you, who helped you, they helped you hit city ambassador. That's the whole principle. So for you to hit area and regional, you will literally turn around and help other people do exactly what people help you do. That is the model that this is built by and built under, and that's the only way we'll move forward. So
Any other, anyone else want to share?
all right, can I say one more thing?
Sure.
Actually, two. Do you have time?
Yeah, we're good.
So I'm going to try to teach a little bit here. I haven't even told you this part. Is Susan Welch on the call? I'll see her. Not Susan Welch, Susan Everett.
No, she's,
Probably not.
Oh, shoot. Well, I still got to tell this. So I used to be a decent golfer, but I haven't played that much. I really haven't, but I enjoy playing. This weekend, I did something that I've done now 7 times, and that is go with a group of men from my AA group to play golf together for 2 days. And the group has grown from 7 people 3.5 years ago to 30 this weekend. And we played golf Friday and Saturday. And here's the thing, I putted so bad. I mean, I putted so bad. After the first day, I'm like, I cannot believe how bad I'm putting the ball. I can't get it in the hole. And I'd be on the green, like close to the hole, and I would hit it. It was terrible. It really was. And the second day I went out and I hit the ball good, but I got on the greens and I still couldn't putt. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? And I'm standing on like the 11th green, and I've got about a 20-foot putt. And I'm thinking, I hope I can get this thing in 3 putts. And I used to be able to get, pretty regular in 2. And I was standing there going, do you really believe in this, act as if thing that you're, working on in your own mind and teaching other people act as if? And I'm like, well, maybe. And then I just said to myself, I need to act as if I can putt. And I made the putt. And I was just standing there in awe. I like from 20 feet away. So for the next, 7 holes, I putted really good. I made 3 more pretty long putts. And I'm like, all it took was that change of mind. Nothing else changed. I just said to myself, I'm going to act as if I can putt. So that's one thing. That's kind of golf and not so serious, but I literally just had to change that one thought on the golf course after 2 days of not being able to putt at all. It was horrible. But now I feel good about my putting again. All right. Here's the other thing I want to share with you. And that is this. Last night, I heard a friend share his story of his life and recovery. Victor has been sober 2 years less than me. No, actually 2 years longer, but I met him 2 years after I got sober in Fayetteville, Arkansas. He got sober at age 21 in prison. He served 10 years in prison in Texas. And when I met him, he had just gotten out of 10-year prison sentence with 4 felonies and 2 manslaughters because of drunk driving. And so with those felonies, he didn't think he would ever work. He didn't know what he was going to do. And, but he started living his life as if, literally as if he was going to stay sober, because everybody thought he would be like his dad and everybody else he knew, and that's go back to prison in Texas. But he decided that he was going to make a decision to begin from that day forward to live his life as though he was not going to go back to prison. So he got a job. Somebody asked him to paint, and so he started painting. And then a lady asked him if he would ever been in title work. Now these are his words. So he's Mexican, okay, from Texas. And he said, and he's so funny when he says it, and these are his words, so I hope nobody will take this racist. And he said, I'm not that kind of Mexican. He said, I don't do title work. And they said, no, title, as in title, like legal title work, when people exchange properties. And he goes, I don't even know what that is. And she said, well, I'll tell you what, you come to my office and we're going to have a discussion. And he said to her, ma'am, I've got 4 felonies. I could never do this. And she said to him, let me tell you what, number 1, if you cheat, if you steal, you'll go back to prison. If you don't, you can make a career out of this. This was 20 years ago. Today, he owns 4 title companies of his own. He plays golf at 3 different clubs around Northwest Arkansas. And he literally travels all over the country, including Canada, telling his story. He's on the speaker circuit. And he still says, I'm not that kind of Mexican. And so here's what he says, though, around the table at dinner, out on the back porch with all the guys just talking. You know what he says? He says, I get up every morning and all I want to do is serve people. I just want to serve people. And when your attitude is, I'm going to rank up, I'm going to do this, I'm going to act as if, but if our heart is to serve people every day, then our lives will change. And so when we talk about goals and rank and income and leading, this business is built around people serving people. And to me, what Eva did, what Stephen did, what Lisa did, what Mary Ellen and Roger did, what Debbie Gentry did in serving the team, what Angela's done, what people who stood at the desk and took names and filled out those things, I don't even know who all was there doing those things, but I can tell you that your rank will be accomplished when you put in your business mindset to serve people, but also in your love and service to other people. You have to build in a business as if mindset. The two have to work together. And so, those are 2 stories from outside of Ziliaks. That's where I was this weekend. But at the same time, you guys were in my heart. You're in my thoughts. Lisa, I was calling Lisa probably, how many times did we talk?
Several.
Like probably a dozen, about the weekend and what you guys got going. I didn't want to talk about golf, really. I didn't want to talk about that stuff. I wanted to hear about what was going on with you all, because I know you're all loving, serving each other, and at the same time, setting goals for yourself and for your future. So,
Well, and a rank goal is nothing more than a declaration of how many people you're going to serve.
Right.
And that's really what this is all about. And I know that's your true heart. So thank you for sharing that, Hal, and what a moving story. I'm going to stop the recording, and then we have just a few minutes. If you guys have questions, comments, or if anyone else wants to talk about rank goals. Hold on one moment.